Hello and welcome to Big Agent Meeting. My name is Russ Laggan. I am Vice President of Training for eXp University. And this week, we've been talking a lot about how eXp is the most agent-centric brokerage on the planet. And I'm talking, we actually mean this stuff. It's not just lip service around here. It's probably also more agent-centric in more ways than you can possibly imagine. You know, we have some of the best leadership in town with our C group and amazing people that actually sold homes. All of the leadership actually sold homes. You also have eXp University delivering world-class training every single week of every single month all year long. But we also have an amazing community of One eXp. So here's the cool part. One eXp helps build community through the things that we care about the most. Agents and staff can connect to groups of like people, like Women's Impact Network, Young Professionals Network, of course, the eXp Pride Network, and we've got a bunch of other groups that you can connect to. If you've got a group you want to connect to, we probably have one. If we don't have one, you should help us build one. So being a part of a community actually helps you grow your business through being part of something bigger than you. We know that success is actually directly tied to a feeling of community, and we've got some community for you. So today, let's talk about what we've got going on. First, we've got an update on Pride Month with One eXp's Pride Network. Then, of course, we've got Brokerage Brief with Holly Mabery. She's going to tell you what's going on in the brokerage world right now. And then we're going to kick it over to University Update with Candace Garcia, one of my favorite people in the world. And, of course, Agent Advantage with Corded, telling you what's going on in Corded and what Corded does for you. So with that said, let's kick it off right now, first with One eXp Pride Network leaders Cameron Cisneros, Amanda Miller, and Jen Worthington. Take it away, ladies.
What's up, eXp? I'm Cameron Cisneros, manager of One eXp. And listen up, June is almost here, and y'all know what that means. It's my favorite month of the year. Pride Month is right around the corner, and we are showing up bigger and better than ever with an extraordinary lineup of events that we want you guys to get plugged into. And like you guys know, I say this every single year. Pride Month is not just a month of celebration. We believe that when agents feel seen, supported, and celebrated for exactly who they are, they produce more, they stay longer, they build better, they dream bigger. That's not just culture. That is the ultimate business strategy. And this month, we have an incredible lineup of programming and events that I want every single one of you guys to get plugged into. I have so much eXp swag that I want to give over to you guys, so make sure to get plugged in. And so without further ado, I'm handing it over to two incredible leaders who are making all of this possible. Our chair and vice chair of the eXp Pride Network, Amanda Miller and Jen Worthington. Take it away, guys.
Excellent. Good morning. Thank you, Cam. Oh my gosh, all I heard was all this fun swag. I mean, who doesn't want free stuff, right? My name is Amanda Miller. I am a broker associate with eXp Realty. I'm also an icon agent, obviously an entrepreneur, and the president and chair of the eXp Pride Network. One of the things I love most about eXp also is that we're not just building businesses here. So we are building communities, visibility, relationships, leaderships, and spaces where people can actually belong while they're growing. And that's what the Pride Network really is all about. So we celebrate Pride Month, of course, and sometimes it's loud and big and bold and full of color and glitter, etc. But bigger than that, we're celebrating connections, opportunity, education, conversation, which I'm hoping we'll have a ton of, visibility and professional growth for not only the LGBTQ plus agents, but also the allies across the company, so agents and staff. We've built out an entire month of programming designed to be engaging, educational, and super easy for everyone to plug into. So whether you're part of our community, an ally, just curious to learn more, or simply looking for community and connection inside our brokerage, we have a ton for everyone. So just a high level overview. We'll have weekly panel conversations with incredible industry leaders. We are so excited about our guests. We have interactive community prompts and engagement inside the hub and on Instagram. We have live events inside eXp World. So our little avatars are going to be cruising around, having a great time. We have social media campaigns highlighting our agents across the country, a ton of educational conversations around leadership, allyship, relationships, wellness, and visibility in business overall. I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Jen Worthington at this point. She's our vice chair, and she's going to review the specifics as far as dates and what you can expect for some of those conversations. Jen, take it away.
Hello, agents. I am Jen Worthington, an associate broker, culture center manager, coach and mentor, and former broker owner who moved her brokerage to eXp, making the best business decision of my career. I currently serve on the AAC, and I am vice chair here at Pride Network. One of the things that I love most about eXp is their commitment to the agents and their dedication to providing the best career experience in the industry, where you can focus on what drives you, where your passion is, and pour into people who inspire you to reach your greatest potential, not just in real estate, but in life too. And that is what Pride Month is all about, finding that authenticity and celebration of who you are, grabbing hold of the opportunities to grow and connect with agents who share your passions, whether you're part of the LGBTQ+ community, an ally, or just curious about inviting more diversity and inclusion into your life. Pride Month is here for you. Now, every Thursday during Pride Month at 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, we are going to be dropping a new live panel. June 4th, we lead it off with Lead with Identity, Not Apology. This panel is focused on authenticity, leadership, and the power of showing up fully as yourself in business. June 11th, we look at Learn, Listen, and Lead. This is our conversation around allyship, impact, and creating spaces where people feel seen and respected. June 18th, the power of proximity hits your airwaves, and we are going to center that around relationships, referrals, mentorship, and how the right rooms can absolutely change your career. June 25th, we hit and close the month out with More Than Money. This is exploring wealth, wellness, sustainability, and redefining what success actually looks like. Now, we have some pretty great events happening in the month of June as well. On June 18th, do not miss the Pride Parade that's going to happen in eXp World. And then on the 19th, don't miss the tour of the Pride Museum. If you're wondering how you can participate, let me break it down for you. First, join us inside the hub. This is our central place for updates, prompts, events, giveaways, conversations, and replays. Second, follow the eXp Pride Network on Instagram and Facebook, because this is where we're going to be dropping clips, panel promos, community stories, and interactive content throughout the entire month. Third, message me directly if you want to be added to our email distribution list so you don't miss a thing. Finally, participate, comment, share, show up, and know you're invited to join the conversation. We also want this month to feel fun, community-driven, and not just informational. So throughout June, we will have prompts like, what does Pride mean to you? Or the moment I knew this was the right career for me was, or show us your Pride fit or office setup. And we're encouraging agents across the country to share your reels, your photos, your live feeds from any of your local Pride events and parades using our community posts and tags so that we can celebrate you across all markets. June is a time to celebrate Pride. We hope you will celebrate with us.
Oh my gosh. I am so excited about all of these panels and all of these conversations. I think the key word that Jen hit on was conversation, right? So we're hoping to open up the channels for dialogue and create conversation throughout not only the Pride Network, but all of our agents and staff. So at the end of the day, the Pride Network exists to create visibility, connection, leadership opportunities, and more belonging in general. Cameron referenced this when she first kicked us off. And whether you identify, again, as LGBTQ+ or an ally, there's absolutely space for you. So come hang out with us, be part of the conversation. We are so excited for what we built this month. And honestly, we're just getting started. So find us on the hub, follow along on social media, message me, message Jen, message Cameron, hit us up for anything and all questions you have. We are so excited to have you involved.
Let's go. I'm so excited, you guys. I can't wait to see you guys get tuned in. And like Jen said, every single attendance that you make this month is an entry to win. We're doing huge giveaways this month. And like I was saying before at the beginning, I've got more swag than I know what to do with. So come out here, show up, show out loud and proud. Let's love on one another and show the importance that belonging does drive business outcomes. Like, this is the ultimate business strategy. Here is to changing the industry, to changing agent lives, and to really making a difference for our community. So Jen, Amanda, thank you for your incredible contributions. And I'm excited to have a huge celebration next month.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right. Well, I'll see you guys soon.
All right. Thank you very much, Cameron, Amanda, Jen. Love that update. If you want to get involved with anything Pride Month and win some extra EXP swag that Cameron was talking about, make sure you connect to the EXP Pride Network on social media, and also, of course, hit it up in the hub. If you haven't been in the hub, get in the hub. That's where the whole world's going. That's why we're calling it the hub, because it's going to be the center of the EXP universe. So up next, we have the one and only Brokerage Brief with Chief Brokerage Officer Holly Mabery. Take it away, Holly.
You know, as we head into summer, I want to make sure you've got as many tools in your toolbox as possible. There have been some great updates with regard to credit scoring and what that looks like, as well as FHA. So I thought I'd break them down, especially if you're headed out to work with buyers or sellers. There's some things you should know. First, let's talk about rates. This has been the hot button topic, especially as we look at the last couple of weeks. Rates spiked in the last couple of weeks, hitting kind of a high of nearly 7%. It was like 6.89. They've come down a little bit this week, hovering right around 6.74. I know it's still high, but this is the thing. As you and I are having conversations with our clients, it's really important to know that, yes, we got a new Fed chair as of last Friday. Second, several of the Fed governors have come out and they are a little more hawkish. What that means is we're probably not going to see rates come down anytime soon. They're watching the conflict in the Middle East. They're looking at gas prices. They're looking at inflation, and they're probably not going to raise rates or lower rates. So this is kind of where we're sitting. But this is what's cool when you look at this chart. The first is the 15-year conforming. Love a good 15-year mortgage. 30-year, 6.74. But the FHA 30-year, 6.31. So let's break into FHA and what's going on there. First, in 2026, the FHA floor actually has gone up, and it's at $541,000. Now, this all depends on where you live, and we know it's county by county. So really understanding what that looks like. Now, if you're out in LA or certain parts of the Eastern Seaboard, maybe you're at 1.2. I know for me, I'm in a lower area, being more rural, but still 541,000 is really awesome. Now, FHA eligibility, that also has been updated. And the rule changes took effect this week with that impact. So making sure that your clients do have green cards, non-permanent residents will not be eligible. So that's just something to know as you go forward. Debt to income. This is also what's really important. 3.5% down. That is pretty awesome. And the mandatory credit score for a borrower, 580 or higher. So when you start to look at credit scores, this is where people qualifying for FHA and down payment, it's a little awesome because you can get in with only putting a little bit down. It gives you some flexibility, keeps you cash on hand, but also credit scores are changing. So let's talk about FICO and what breaks that up. First and foremost, the score benefits, loan approvals, interest rates, those opportunities. The higher your score, the more you get. The score range, like if you've got poor to exceptional credit list, like that, things start to shrink. And the basic FICO score is running from 300 to 850. So being in that above 700 range, oh my gosh, you can get credit cards, loans, all sorts of different things, and usually at a lower interest rate, which is really great. Now, score factors that really come into play here are going to be payment history, credit utilization. So really keeping your credit utilization below 50% makes a difference. Now, this is where I want to pause. Many folks are in the mindset of, I'm going to pay all my debt down. I want to get it paid off. I just want to keep going. This is what I will say. Great strategy. Absolutely. Not having revolving credit is a really good idea. The challenge becomes, if you pay off that credit card, if you pay off that debt and then close that account, your credit rating actually could be impacted negatively because you have less credit open to you. So if you're thinking about paying down all your debt, absolutely do that. Work with a coach, work with a financial planner, whatever makes sense to you. I love the snowball method, just as an aside. But once you pay it off, don't necessarily close that account because it could impact you negatively, and that's not what you're going after. Now, most recently, we've seen an update of a new type of credit score, and this is kind of a game changer, especially for those folks who are just getting started in the world. This is what I would have loved coming right out of college, because in college in the 90s, we were told to go open a credit card as fast as you could because that started getting your credit score established. Well, now with the Vantage score, there's a whole bunch of other opportunities that kind of play into this. It's your payment history. It could be for utilities, your cell phone, Netflix, all of this. Also your depth of credit. This is how long you've had it. It also speaks to your credit utilization. Again, are you staying under that 50%, ideally under 20% of the total amount you could borrow on? What are your balances running? Are you paying them off every month? Are you paying mostly in full? All of that. And then recent credit. Are you constantly out applying for credit? Like every time you go to a new retail store and they're like, hey, if you sign up today, you'll save X percent. Not always a good idea. So the Vantage score actually allows people to qualify slightly differently. So let's compare the Vantage score to FICO. This is really kind of the breakdown. When you look at payment history, it's huge for both of them, 30 versus 35%. Balances, not as high on Vantage compared to FICO, but recent credit is still a very huge factor, especially for the Vantage score. And then also utilization. How much are you using these cards? How much are you carrying forward in a balance? And that available credit, not as high on the Vantage score at all. New credit, yeah, we talked about that. So when you start to look at what makes a difference, it's just some things to talk about with your clients. And when you're working with a local lender, they can kind of guide you through what to expect, how it might work, depending on the lender they're working with. So these score changes, how does it work? Well, the Vantage scores, renters who paid on time, that rent now actually could contribute to a higher credit score. You've got better eligibility with the Vantage, and also folks with shorter credit history, you have the way to establish, which is super great. But when you look at all of this, okay, great, Holly, I have really good credit. I've paid off my debt or paid it down. I'm in a really good place. I have 3.5%, saved, but maybe you've got a buyer who is looking at properties and going, wow, these really need to be updated. They really are rough. And this is where I want to introduce you to the 203K loan. I love this loan. It's a renovation loan, and what it actually allows people to do is purchase the house and also prepare for renovations. If you are working with a contractor, you can actually tie everything in together. So for instance, I had a buyer who we made an offer on a house. They also needed to update the kitchen, like that avocado green countertop and the matching appliances, pretty gross. But the roof also needed to be replaced. So what we were able to do is get pricing for all of that and also set a timeline. We wrote a 203K working with our local lender, and the house just had to appraise for what it is today. Then they closed escrow. Then they had kind of a construction loan, if you will, that allows them to go and make those repairs. So once the roof was done, once the kitchen was updated, now they had this house that had some equity in it based on all of those updates. It's really kind of cool when you think of how a 203K works. Also, there's two types. There's limited and standard. The limited is really designed for more cosmetic, kind of, bringing the kitchen into this century, maybe new flooring, maybe it needs to be painted, maybe the house has a whole lot of dry rot, all of those types of things. So the buyer is empowered to kind of love that property up. Standard 203K, well, this would be substantial structural stuff. And I did have a client who went out, they actually bought a foreclosure. We were able to get it for like $175,000. They ended up working with a contractor, completely remodeled the kitchen, the bathroom, new flooring, the roof, the solar panels were taken off, all of these things, really loving this home into this century. It was awesome. They took it from a 70s kind of rundown icky to, oh my gosh, modern. And this allowed them to do significant repairs. They had a 6-month time frame to complete all of those, working with their contractor. And what it allowed them to do is really work within FHA. They put that money down, they did the 203K, and they had this amazing property on the outside. What it allows them also to do is build that equity. And when I look around at so many of the houses right now with our average sales price being in the 400s, depending on the market you're in, there's some opportunity to love those houses up, especially if you have a seller who maybe they are looking to just get out. They have to walk away, but they're not really primed for a wholesale market. They need a little, they've got some equity, but they just can't make the repairs that your buyer needs. Great. 203K is the way to go, and it allows people to move forward. So a few things to think about as you're working with buyers going into this summer. Working with that local lender is going to be huge. Making sure they understand their credit, they understand their credit score and what that looks like. And this is where I love working with a local lender, maybe doing online webinars around, hey, how do you qualify for a house? What does it look like? The tax returns, all of that. You can feature your local lender. And I've seen a lot of people really do these cool online webinars on like Saturday mornings or Thursday evenings to really help people feel comfortable. Then I would have that local lender also break down, what does it look like to buy FHA? A lot of people think, oh my gosh, I'm going to buy a house. I got to have 20% down. That's not the case at all. To have 3.5% down, oh my goodness, you can actually buy a house, and maybe that 2 to 5% for closing costs, you might be able to get from the seller. You might be able to get from a family member. There's all sorts of down payment assisted programs. These are things to check into. It's really a cool opportunity. And then you take a look at the 203K. What does it look like? How can you buy something and maybe buy a bigger property that is older, that needs some loving up, that allows that buyer to, I don't know, have something that is more equitable for them long term? It does make a difference. Now, this is the thing. This is definitely different than any kind of credit you would get from the seller. The credit is real time and must be used right now. If you are working with a 203K, this really means that, hey, I'm going to take advantage and move forward. So as a seller, this allows me to say, hey, I've got an increased buyer pool. So if I'm going out to take a listing, I've got a seller who they absolutely cannot do the repairs. Maybe their health, maybe something else is going on for them. Okay. Walk them through what it would look like for them as a 203K. They only need to make sure the property is available to contractors to come in and do measurements and give quotes and things of that nature. But also they could have quotes on the roof. They could have quotes on different things that need to be fixed and put everything out there as, hey, you can get a 203K. These are quotes from contractors we've been working with. Get your own and let's see what's possible. As a seller selling in this market, I would absolutely have this in my back pocket and ready to go. So what do I want you to walk away with? Right now, interest rate, it's ping-ponging. 2 weeks ago, it was about 6.3. Right now, it's up to 6.78. FHA, the rate estimate is running anywhere from 6 up to 6.3. 203K is a really cool opportunity and definitely something to look at. The FHA floor is up. The ceiling has raised for those high cost areas. So there's a lot of opportunity for everything that you're doing. When you think about how we move into this market this summer, you and I are the professionals in the market. The more opportunities we have for clients, the more ways that we can help showcase how they can buy a home, take some of that pain or friction away, makes all the difference. So get with your local lender, talk with them about how you can present it, and get super comfortable with 203K, updates on FICO and credit scores, and help your clients. That's the biggest thing that you and I are going to do right now. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you, Holly, for keeping us updated on all the changes that have been going on in this industry. This industry is moving fast, and it's always great to have someone like Holly that knows and has her finger on the pulse of the industry, what's going on, and leading the way to making sure you know what's going on and what's important in the real estate industry. So let's kick off University Spotlight right now with a special guest, VP of Learning, one of my favorite people, Candice Garcia. Take it away, Candice.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, EXP. I'm Candice Garcia, VP of Learning, and welcome to your EXP University Spotlight. Folks, summer is here, and while some agents slow down, our top agents know that this is the perfect time to build momentum and set yourself up for a massive second half of the year. So here's what EXP University has in store for you to help you do just that. First up, on June 9th, we've got Icon Lead Mastery, Likes to Leads with Instagram, taught by Russ Laggan. Because guys, let's be honest, a lot of agents are posting on Instagram, but very few know the secrets to turning it into a sustainable business. And this class is all about the strategies that top icon agents are using right now to build attention, to create conversations, and to turn social media into a reliable lead source. And then on June 23rd, you can join Alyssa Specht and myself, the twins of EXPU, for Icon Lead Mastery, Massive Leads from Open Houses. This is, of course, one of my favorites to teach because we know that open houses are the most underutilized lead generation opportunity in this business. So we're going to be talking about the real systems that agents are using to turn a single open house into lead content, into neighborhood visibility, and into future business long after that event ends. And guys, you won't just be leaving inspired. You're going to be equipped with Icon Agent playbooks, with scripts, with templates, and with our brand new open house app. Best of all, as EXP agents, these classes are already completely free to you. So make sure to head over to expuniversity.com to get connected to all of our amazing upcoming learning opportunities this summer, because school is still in session here, and I can't wait to see you there.
All right. Thank you very much, Candice. Do appreciate that. And like Candice said in her update, we have Icon Lead Mastery Instagram session that I'm going to be teaching on June 9th. In this session, I'm going to be talking about and digging into all things that help you move the ball and actually close sales in Instagram. We're talking about playbooks from our top agents in the company that have closed over $500,000 GCI in a year from things that they do on Instagram. They've got playbooks on how to live a cool lifestyle. Holly Mabery talking about fashion in Dallas, and she uses that to actually get the connection and get the ball rolling to be able to do real estate sales. We've got one that actually says, I don't even like the way I look on camera, Russ. So everything she does on Instagram is actually outward facing, so she doesn't have to be the person with her face on the camera all the time. So there is something for everyone in that 2-hour session. Now, June 4th, next week, let me double check, 3 p.m. Eastern time, we have an actual executive mastermind where I am actually going to talk through like 20 minutes or so of some of the things that are going to be in that session. I'm actually going to give you real things you can put in your business. So check it out, 3 p.m. next Thursday, June 4th. It's about a 20-30 minute session on parts and pieces that you can take into your business now. And then if you see stuff in there you like, you want to show up for the full 2-hour session. All right. So there you go. That's what I've got for you guys with Instagram. Check it out, coming soon. Finally, we've got one thing left today for a quick update with our amazing EXP solution partners, Corded. Check it out.
Hey EXP, my name is Jason Caspert. I'm the Director of Sales here at Corded. We work with many of folks throughout the entire EXP universe to attract profitable, productive, and entrepreneurial agents to your organizations and teams. How do we do it? We help you identify the right agent at the right time for them. It's always the right time for you to be attracting folks, but when is it the right time for them? Once you've been able to understand when they've maybe sold through their inventory, or they were at a brokerage where their peers had left, or maybe they just had the best year of their career and they want to continue that momentum, that's when you can then generate a personalized message, utilizing all of the data we have that it's updated here in real time, so that way you can speak specifically and intentionally to every agent that you're hoping to attract. We also provide information on yourself, as well as your team and other agents there at EXP, so you can make sure that you're celebrating your teammates in an appropriate fashion, whether it be for their highest listing of their career or their first closing as a part of the family. We want to make sure that you're in a position to not only put these people on a pedestal, as they deserve to be, but also coach them when appropriate. And then lastly, we'll provide all the details you need to help move inventory as quickly as possible by reverse engineering and reverse prospecting into the appropriate buyer agents when you have listings come on the market. We want to help you refine all of your agent attraction segments so that way you can convert at a higher clip, build out your organization, build out your team, and continue to have success. Thank you all for the time. We look forward to meeting you.
All right. Thank you very much, Jason and Corded team. One of the best parts about being with eXp is that we have amazing partnerships already set up for you and deals negotiated. So you have the things and the parts and pieces to run your business and keep it at your fingertips at the best price possible. So I want to say thank you very much for joining us today for Big Agent Meeting. Don't forget to scan the QR code on the screen. Let us know how we did today. Give us a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. Let us know how we did today so we can keep making and improving the show for future uses. All right, so up next we have iConversations, and I'll see you guys next week.
Following the Big Agent Meeting, serious agents are coming here. KGCI streams real-world real estate strategy 24 hours a day.
Lead generation, conversion, marketing that actually works.
Take it with you wherever you go. Download the always free Real Estate On Air mobile app for iPhone and Android, available now.